Sony today released some of their yearly numbers, and for the first time it didn't include the PlayStation 4 sales figures. The PS4 finished off at about 117 million units sold. And what does it mean that those numbers aren't on that report anymore? Well, it's kind of Sony's method of moving on from that legacy PlayStation 4 and Pro system and onto the 5 as the major focus going forward. By the way, this is the Demon's Souls remake in the background. Yeah, I am doing a playthrough. Holy crap, those visuals. November of this year marks the 2-year mark for the PlayStation 5 being out in the UK. It's interesting. I'm going to go through what exclusives we've got to look at going forward. And I've done quite a lot of asking around about the 5 and how people feel about it. We've got that Pro edition of the 5 coming out next year. It's all just a massive mess, and I'm going to tell you why. And also point out a lot of bad white lies that a lot of the massive mainstream media outlets are telling us of exclusives that are going to be released on that system. If you Google it, you get this half-assed ridiculous bunch of games with stuff like Forspoken and Ghostwire completely ignoring that they're on Windows, and none of these are going to be exclusive to the 5. As if Square Enix is going to make a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It's just not going to happen. Rockstar are never going to make a platform exclusive ever again either. So this weird area that we had in 2020 where we got these 3 gems, we got Ratchet & Clank, we got Returnal, we got the Demon's Souls remake. However, it is a remake, and we're going to go into something about it in a second. I had this chat with someone the other day, and they said, "You've forgotten Astrobot." I rest my case. I don't actually have any beef at all with Demon's Souls. I'm thoroughly impressed with it. It's the most lavish remake since the Shadow of the Colossus, same team. The qualities everywhere is beautiful, absolutely breathtaking. I have, and I think some people are going to agree with this, made the foolish mistake of putting hundreds of hours into Elden Ring and getting very used to that new control scheme. I'm talking about the jump, some of the lunge moves, and the fluidity of everything. It does feel very clunky against this game, and of course the fact that you don't have huge choice, you hit a brick wall, you do have to keep pushing on that brick wall. It's just such a strange psychology to go back to when it comes to a Souls game. I should have played this on launch well before Elden came out. Those changes that From put in for Elden Ring, some might argue, take away or detract from the true Souls experience. I don't know if the open world aspect does, but certainly a lot of the choices that you have when it comes to different quest lines or what to approach next or brick wallery, it's a very different mindset that you apply to Elden that you would for Dark Souls 1, 2, even Bloodborne, and of course the original Demon's Souls. It is an absolutely incredible looking and playing game, however, and I strongly advise it to be definitely in your roster if you have a PlayStation 5. I wonder if the team are ever going to do anything like this again, because the numbers on this would have not included any PlayStation 4 sales. That must have affected the bottom line. Bluepoint Games' website has nothing major on the horizon that it's shouting about. Just about to have this massive rant about Phil Spencer recently saying that he really is looking forward to playing the next PlayStation 5 exclusive God of War Ragnarok, but it's all changed on the headlines. I cannot find, all it just says is Sony exclusive now, but when that story broke it was very differently worded. Lastly, on Demon's Souls, I will say the frames are so pegged, even when the screen has got this much activity going on in the background with that damn dragon flying around. It was just amazing. Let's get back to the current state of the PlayStation 5 and its lineup and what there really is to play if you only wanted to look at really good PlayStation 5 exclusives. And that brings me on to director's cuts and free upgrades. I'm not a big fan of Ghost of Tsushima making us pay all that money for just an increase in visual fidelity. I know that there's some extra content thrown in there, but we also saw it with Control and GTA, making us pay for just better performance on that machine. No major additional content. That stuff is really unforgivable. I was so annoyed about it all. I've got a couple of casual gamer mates who who don't own 5s, who own PlayStation 4s, and I'm like, what would you really want on the 5? What would you want to buy a 5 for? And one of them was like Call of Duty, and I was like, hey, didn't get the Vanguard, no zombie thing, and the other was all about seeing GTA through that ray tracing mode. So no mention of any of the exclusives at all, just really wanting to see stuff run better, which you could have done on a PC. System sellers. We don't have any system sellers anymore. That's not a thing. And I think I might be a little bit jaded with having such an amazing PlayStation 4 launch, with huge AAA exclusives announced, running like we'd never seen a game run before, and everything just being whacked up a notch. It was truly a current gen jump. What on earth has happened this time around is anyone's guess. I love Returnal, I really do, from the bottom of my heart. It's an absolute fantastic game for me. It just marries up with all of my wants, but I know for a fact it's not for everybody, and I know that it's not going to sell that system, because it would have made more of a fuss by now. You know, it's one of these gamers game that's made by a bunch of slightly sadistic nutters. I think it was a combination of Horizon Zero Dawn and God of War that made me really think that the PlayStation 4 was one hell of a piece of kit. And it was. And the Pro came out quite quick as well, and I was just a very happy bunny. The 2016, that chunk was just huge. We had Red Dead 2 come out just 2 years into launch. The systems handled it. It was a jaw-dropping moment in the industry to just see how incredible these games could actually look. And that puts me on to what we're looking at here, which is only 1080, unfortunately, 60 frames per second, but we didn't get 4K with Returnal. We did get Ascension, annotation in the corner, and that was a great little co-op mode that was very much welcome. Gave the game a whole new angle, but it didn't move it to system seller status. It's still firmly a very difficult AAA rogue like this. The anomaly that is the new Ratchet & Clank game is also the strangest thing, with the studio being within Sony and it just looking absolutely fantastic. Again, this isn't a system seller because it's not the toughest game on the earth and it's not huge. You could smash this 50, 70 hours maximum, not much to do after completion. It's not like it's got an end game. But where the hell does that put us as PlayStation 5 owners? With these like 3 games, one of which is a remake, and right round the corner, in the middle of next year, it may even be earlier, they're going to release an even better performing version of the machine. And I think that the digital only version of the machine is barely got out of the door, and we've got a whole new system to look at. As a content creator who does focus on Sony machines, I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I had to go through the eye of the needle to get my PlayStation 5 early enough in 2021 to get some half decent content on the channel, and it was a headache. God only knows what we'll be looking at. Things might be sorted out by that time with semiconductors, with supply chain, with any new pandemics. But we don't know, do we? And it's probably a reason that the 5 had such difficulties, is that the planet was in turmoil during that launch period. But it's moved on a bit since then, and it's also the development or lack of pipeline development for exclusives that very, very much worries me.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
I am glad to see you.
If I'm sitting there with a PlayStation 4 Pro in the current climate right now, and you know, with all of the recession looming and God only knows what coming around the corner, I just sit tight. There is nothing that would make me slap down 450 quid at the moment. Ratchet & Clank and Returnal are great, but my God, you've still got a huge library of games that you can access that are still massive and still going on the PlayStation 4. The grass is just not green enough yet. I've made a lot of PS5 exclusive content, and it has and hasn't performed well. It's tough to tell. The last 2 years on YouTube have been very shaky, full stop. But I wanted to see more activity and just excitement in the media for the system and its exclusives that are coming up. The Ragnarok thing is, again, a huge heartbreaker, because everything about it just reminds me of sitting there and looking at that E3 when they introduced us to the PlayStation 4 version, which was just a bomb in the industry. It was absolutely colossal. I'm very keen to hear what you guys have got to say about your situations. Are you waiting on a 5? Are you going to make the decision next year when the enhanced version comes out? Are you even not on the Sony side? You might have similar feelings for the high-powered Xbox equivalent? Let me know, stick it in the comments. I may just be worrying about this too much, but it's certainly not as it should be. I'm pretty sure. I have been Garrett Scoobman. Thank you for listening to that colossal moan about the state of the industry at the moment, and of course Sony and its machines. It's the first time I've not brought a Gran Turismo, probably because of Forza being so epic on Game Pass, and all that stuff that Polyphonic have pulled with the micros. Ridiculous. More couch co-op content on the way. I have put a whole bunch of links into the PlayStation 5 content that I've produced. Have a good look. And I feel see you down there.